Most people don't realize that staying poor is not an accident. It's a pattern. It's a rhythm. It's a loop that repeats every single day without you noticing. And by the time you finally wake up, years have already passed. You think life is unfair. You think the world is against you. You think opportunity never knocks at your door. But the truth is simpler and heavier. There are habits you repeat every day that silently keep you poor, and you don't even see them happening. JackMa once said, "Your habits decide your future, not your education." And the more you look closely at life, the truer it becomes. The world doesn't limit you as much as your daily habits do. Poverty doesn't start with an empty wallet. It starts with an empty pattern. And today, you're going to face the 3 habits that quietly hold millions of people back, without shouting, without warning, without mercy. The first habit is doing tomorrow what should have been done today. This habit looks harmless. It looks small. It looks like just a little delay. You promise yourself you'll do it later. You'll start next week. You'll fix your life when things calm down. But time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause just because you're stressed. It doesn't slow down just because you're scared. Every day you delay changes your direction. Every hour you postpone your progress is an hour someone else is moving ahead. People trapped in this habit wake up each day repeating the same cycle of waiting for the right time, a time that never comes. Procrastination is a silent thief. It steals opportunities you never even see. JackMa always said, "The biggest failure is giving up." Most people don't fail because they make mistakes. They fail because they wait. And he was right. Waiting becomes a lifestyle. You learn to delay. You learn to push things forward. You learn to comfort yourself with excuses instead of results. You learn to protect your comfort instead of your potential. Poor people think they have time. Wealthy people use the time they have. Poor people expect motivation to arrive first. Wealthy people act first and trust motivation to show up later.
But people who stay poor don't understand that action is not a feeling, it's a decision. And every decision you avoid becomes a chain. You chain yourself to your limits. You chain yourself to your fears. You chain yourself to the same level you've been living at for years. And one day, when life finally hits you hard enough, you realize that the problem was never that you didn't have time. The problem was that you had time but didn't use it. If you look honestly at your life, you will see so many moments you lost because you kept telling yourself you'd start later. Your habits don't lie. Your results don't lie. Your days reflect your choices. The most dangerous habit isn't making mistakes. It's avoiding the start. The second habit that keeps people poor is blaming everything except themselves. This is the habit that destroys entire lifetimes. It feels good because it gives you permission to stay exactly where you are. If you blame the economy, you don't have to change. If you blame your family, you don't have to take responsibility. If you blame your boss, your city, your background, your past, or your circumstances, then your lack of progress suddenly becomes someone else's fault. And that feels comforting. But comfort is a liar. Comfort tells you you're right even when you're wrong. It protects you from temporary pain, but traps you in permanent weakness. JackMa said, "If you want your life to change, look in the mirror first." And this is where people get stuck. Looking in the mirror is painful. It forces you to admit that maybe you wasted time. Maybe you avoided opportunities. Maybe you lowered your standards. Maybe you didn't show up with your full potential. And people hate admitting that, so they choose the easier route. Blame someone else.
Blame is addictive. Once you start, you can't stop. Blame makes you feel good for a moment and useless for a lifetime. People who stay poor carry stories. They explain their life instead of changing it. They justify their failures instead of learning from them. They surround themselves with people who complain because it helps them avoid growth. They protect their ego more than their future. You'll hear them say, "Life is unfair," but they forget that life is unfair to everyone. You'll hear them say, "The system is broken," but they never learn how to win within the system. You'll hear them say, "People don't support me," but they forget that successful people started alone too. Every time you blame someone else, you give that person power over your life. And once you give away your power, you lose the ability to rise. Responsibility is the foundation of wealth, not money, not opportunity, not luck. Responsibility. It means you take ownership of everything, the good, the bad, the painful, and the disappointing. You own your time, you own your decisions, you own your failures, you own your future. When you own everything, you can change everything. But when you blame everything, nothing changes. And the sad part is that many people spend their entire lives waiting for the world to be fair before they take action. They want perfect conditions. They want zero problems. They want life to open the door for them. But life doesn't work like that. Life opens the door only after you push. Success arrives only after you fail. Stability appears only after you take risks. And growth comes only after you stop pointing fingers.
The third habit that keeps people poor is choosing comfort over improvement. Comfort feels good, it feels safe, it feels familiar, but comfort slowly destroys your future. Poor people love activities that feel good in the moment, but give nothing valuable in return. They binge endless entertainment. They choose sleep over discipline. They choose gossip over learning. They scroll for hours but don't build anything. They enjoy temporary pleasures but ignore long-term progress. They want a better future but live with the habits of an average past. JackMa said, "Today is hard, tomorrow is harder, but the day after tomorrow will be beautiful." Most people quit before the day after tomorrow arrives. They want the beauty without the difficulty. They want the reward without the sacrifice. They want the results without the habits. Comfort is a trap disguised as peace. It feels like rest, but it's actually draining your future strength. It convinces you that small pleasures are enough. It makes you think you don't need to grow. It tells you to relax even when you've achieved nothing. Comfort steals your hunger. It steals your ambition. It steals the fire inside you. And the worst part is that you don't even realize it's happening. You think you're just relaxing today, but today becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next month becomes next year, and suddenly you look back and see that nothing changed. People who stay poor are not lazy every day. They are lazy consistently. One small, comfortable choice repeated daily becomes a lifestyle. Improvement feels uncomfortable at first. Learning new skills feels hard. Waking up early feels painful. Building discipline feels unpleasant. But everything you want is hidden behind the things you avoid. Peace comes after growth, not before it. People who escape poverty choose improvement even when it feels uncomfortable. They choose to learn instead of being entertained. They choose long-term progress over short-term pleasure. They choose building over consuming. They choose growth over ego. They choose discipline even when motivation is missing. They push themselves beyond the level where most people stop. They understand one basic truth. Your future is shaped by your boring choices, not the big dreams, not the big goals, the small daily decisions. Waking up on time, studying consistently, applying for opportunities, practicing skills, saving money, planning your day, taking responsibility. All these small actions compound. They stack, they build momentum, they create breakthroughs. And eventually, people look at them and call them lucky, not knowing how many uncomfortable decisions created that luck. Now ask yourself honestly, which of these habits are quietly destroying your future? Are you delaying your life, waiting for motivation, hoping tomorrow will magically be better? Are you blaming circumstances, people, and the world instead of facing the mirror? Are you choosing comfort over growth, even though comfort keeps you exactly where you don't want to be? You can hide from others, but you can't hide from your habits. Your habits are loud, even when your words are silent. Your habits tell the truth about your future. Your habits reveal your direction. Your habits show whether you're going to rise or stay the same.
JackMa said, "Your future is decided by what you do between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. The world is quiet at night. There are no distractions, no noise, no expectations. It's just you and your choices. Some people use those hours to escape. Others use them to build. Some waste that time on entertainment. Others use that time to develop skills. Some complain about their situation. Others quietly prepare their comeback. This is where the gap between poor and rich begins, in the invisible hours when no one is watching. Success is not a mystery. It is a daily pattern. If your habits stay the same, your life stays the same. If your habits change, everything changes. And here is the part most people will never accept. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to make your life easier. No one is going to force you to grow. You have to choose it yourself. You have to fight your own excuses. You have to break your own patterns. You have to build your own discipline. You have to protect your own future. Wealth is not built by luck. It's built by choices. It's built by habits. It's built by moments where you decide to push when everything inside you wants to stop. You can't control where you were born. You can't control your past, but you can control your habits. And once you change your habits, you change your direction.
The beautiful thing about life is that you're always one decision away from a different future. One moment of responsibility. One moment of clarity. One moment of honesty. One moment of courage. One moment where you decide that enough is enough. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have money to start. You don't need support. You don't need permission. You just need to break the 3 habits that keep people poor. Stop delaying, stop blaming, and stop choosing comfort over improvement. If you can break these habits, even slowly, even clumsily, even imperfectly, your future will begin to change. Not in a dramatic explosion, but quietly, steadily, powerfully, just like JackMa, who started as a rejected teacher and slowly built himself into a global symbol of resilience and possibility. Your habits are writing your story. The question is, what story do you want them to write? The story of someone who stayed exactly where life placed them, or the story of someone who rose above their limits and created a future they once thought was impossible? The answer is not somewhere far away. It's not hidden. It's in your next decision. It's in the next hour. It's in the next habit you choose. Today can be the day you break the cycle forever. All you have to do is begin.